the Rundown virtual style, December 20th, 2021. We got myself, Robbie Fox, and RA. How the hell are you, King?
Fantastic, Smitty. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thanks for having me. Like, I'm the one who organizes this shit and personally invites you, which brings us to a better point. This is your first ever Rundown?
Yes, my first ever appearance on the Rundown after 14 years here at Barstool Sports. This is the first invite I had, and I was happy to say yes to it.
Impressive.
It's outrageous. My first Skype rundown, which I was happy to be like on a virtual rundown because that's the kind I grew up watching. So, yeah.
Well, yes.
Everyone's
For those who might not know, the Rundown probably started 2015, 2016, and it was all Skype, just a whole bunch of jabronis virtual. Well, rephrase that. The first was like a bros show where everyone was
it was like a whiteboard they had, and
and maybe it didn't take off as well as the Skype rundowns, which go back. Actually, no, don't go back and watch. But other than that, this Rundown brought to you by Hooters. Visit hooters.com/Barstool and use code Barstool for $10 off $50+ orders. Hooters is your go-to spot for killer wings and ice cold beer. But football season means all the big games on all the big screens, and it's the only place that has the world famous Hooters girls. They love football just as much as you do, and they're better looking than your friends. Hooters has same day game specials to keep you hydrated and filled up on your order at Hooters all season long. If you can't make it to Hooters for the game, you can still get your Hooters fix at home and save $10 with the code Barstool when you order online. Check out hooters.com/Barstool for more details. That's hooters.com/Barstool. Hooters, one of my favorite commercials this year with Caleb, the Balls, and Ben Mintz as your average sports fan. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So go to Hooters. But right now, Jake Paul. Robbie, you're our fight guy. He knocked out Tyron Woodley in 6 rounds, but the knockout was probably one of the more aggressive knockouts we've seen in quite some times.
Oh, yeah. I mean, his best for sure. Jake Paul's best. He didn't get to knock out Tyron last time, got to do it this time. Now he has that saying that he posted, like, I've knocked out everyone that I fought. I didn't watch the fight. I followed along with highlights, but I was like, there's just no way that, fool me once, fool me twice. So I wasn't buying this a second time. At least we had Dave and Big Cat on the broadcast last time. Jake Paul has, to borrow a term from like wrestling, X-Pac heat with me. And I love X-Pac, so I don't like that term. But X-Pac heat means the fans are booing you. And it's not because you're good at being a bad guy. It's because they just don't want to see you anymore. Like, I don't have any interest in Jake Paul. I don't watch any of his stuff. This won't make me watch his next fight. I truly don't care about anything the guy does. A great knockout. I'm not like taking anything away. I personally have zero interest in Jake Paul.
Okay. Now, all right, with your fight expertise, could Jake Paul take on Peter McNeely in his prime or Mark Wahlberg's crackhead brother in The Fighter?
First off, I don't know if Peter McNeely had a prime, but this Jake Paul, I'm kind of with Robbie here. I'm not a big fan. I'm not that I'm anti or pro. I just really don't pay much attention to him. I thought the knockout was pretty impressive the other day. He's a huge draw. There's no denying that. It seems like he's a pretty decent fighter, but he needs better competition, man. Like, I know he's lining these tin cans up or tomato cans up and putting them down. I need him to fight Mike Tyson. Never mind Peter McNeely or anyone else from the past. Like, Tyson's 50. If you're going to fight these old washed up guys, that's the guy I want to see him fight is Tyson. Because, I mean, Tyson will punch his head off in 5 seconds.
Dave almost made me like spontaneously combust with his tweet yesterday where he says that Jake Paul would beat Anderson Silva and Conor McGregor in a boxing fight, where I'm just like, oh my God, this guy. I don't think Dave has ever in his life seen Anderson Silva fight. Probably he's seen the last like couple of McGregor fights where he's unfortunately lost, but like Anderson Silva kicked the ever living shit out of Julio Cesar Chavez this year. Listen, granted, he's not the greatest fighter in the world anymore, but like, he's not just this MMA old washed up guy. Like, Tyron Woodley won his first rounds against Jake Paul. It was the first round that he had won in like 5 years. Like, and he's a wrestler at the end of the day. So like, again, not taking anything away. What Jake Paul has done is very impressive. This knockout was awesome, but like, who gives a fuck? He's also already said he's a huge draw. He's not a huge draw. he sells out arenas, but when you look at his pay-per-view numbers, Triller doesn't employ him for a reason anymore. Triller was projecting 1.5, 1.4 million buys for his fight against Ben Askren, and I think he got about 300,000, which in the grand scheme of things is good for a fighter, but he's not a huge draw. Conor McGregor can put up millions with any opponent.
Yes, but that's also fighting. Yes, he had the boxing match with Floyd Mayweather. Now, coming from an unbiased person looking at this, both the boxing and the entertainment perspective, you say he's not a big draw. And
not a huge draw, he's a big draw.
Okay, he's not. Robbie, come on. Like, there's
yeah. He's got a big dick or a huge dick. I mean,
like
he's got a dick. He's hanging
let's
low.
not talk about him like he's one of the bigger draws in combat sports.
Oh, but I would say this, from not seeing like boxing being brought to the forefront for like, a decade, he's kind of doing it with these things.
Yes, he has people talking about boxing more than most boxers have been getting talked about.
People aren't buying the fights though, which I find interesting. Like, he's got social media talking about him, but people aren't actually paying for the fights. You
don't need to buy the fights. We can rip them some other ways, except for Rough and Rowdy. Don't do that. Might end up getting swatted.
Smitty, to go back to the other question, you were talking about, Dickie Eklund or Mickey Ward. I know you made a reference to the fighter there.
Whoever Christian Bale was.
Christian Bale, he played Dickie Eklund, who was the guy who was strung out in the movie, who actually did fight Sugar Ray Leonard. I think he's a lower weight class than Jake Paul in his prime. I don't know. It'll probably be a tough battle just because he's so much bigger than him, but he wouldn't have beaten Mickey Wood. I don't care what the fucking weight disparity was. Mickey Wood would fucking pummel fucking Jake Paul. By the way, I saw Mickey Wood versus Arturo Gatti, the second one down in Atlantic City.
You were there?
Yeah. We went.
Shit.
Yeah. After the first fight was so good, we drove down. A bunch of us got a van, went down for the fight, and had no idea that we were going to be part of such a major boxing history. So good shit.
Well, thank you very much for taking my just extremely last second off the cuff Boston reference for you and just taking it to the moon. Speaking of which, when are you taking my wife and I and our child on a hardcore tour of Boston? We've talked about that for years.
Whenever you're in town, give me a heads up and consider it done, buddy. When's the last time you've been in Boston?
Well, it's been a while, but why aren't you doing that as a side gig? If Frank the Tank can make $500,000 on Cameo, why can't RA give those premier tours. Vince Vaughn tours like he did in the breakup in Chicago? Just do it of the town.
Yeah, I suppose I could. Murder scenes or bank jobs done here, a type of tour. One of those criminal tours. That could be a good little side hustle.
This is where I held the spatula in the town.
Yeah. Oh, actually, that was actually at a dive bar up in Lynn, but supposed to be in town. But yeah, we can do some stuff like that. Actually, I do have another acting role. I can't talk about it yet, but I just filmed some scenes last weekend out of the country. But we'll be talking about that later on a Spit and Chicklets episode. A little
in the country, it's not in Charleston, is it?
Not Charlestown. I was in Canada.
Yeah, Charleston,
dickhead.
Charleston. Don't worry about it. All right. We're going from one of Robbie Fox's fortes, boxing, to the other, Spider-Man.
Yeah, Spider-Man opened this weekend, second biggest opening weekend of all time, which is crazy in the middle of COVID, because I know tons of people who didn't see this because of COVID, either because they were worried about it or because, like myself, they got COVID, unfortunately. But yeah, I was able to see it through allegedly illegal means. I didn't do it. I had COVID. I was on my couch sitting there, and then the bootleg just hooked itself up through my computer, HDMI'd itself into the TV. I've seen it three times over the last 3 nights. I think it's a fantastic movie. I think everyone, like all shapes, sizes, colors, genders, everyone's going to love this movie because it is just fun. Like, I would recommend it to literally, even if you don't think you like superhero movies, you'll like this one. This one's amazing.
You know what I love the most about this movie? When they asked Alfred Molina, who's Otto Octavius, why he's coming back and reprising his role from Spider-Man 2, he said straight point blank, I'm doing it for the money.
Yeah,
respectable.
Yeah,
I respect
crazy
the fuck out of that.
In the end, like, there was crazy money involved in those Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies. They were huge box office hits. Now, oh my god, it's boatloads of money. So yeah, it was a very Harrison Ford-esque answer from him.
Oh yeah, he could literally say anything, be like, "Oh, my grandkids, they're growing up with this. I want them to see like their grandpop, or I just want to give back." Nah, doing it for the money. That's
he
a type
a
of
great
fuck
performance
you.
too. He didn't phone it in. It's a great performance from him.
Like Michael Caine saying he did, Jaws 4, Jaws 4 for the House in the Bahamas. It was well worth it,
Yeah.
of the
Jaws
movie, whatever
4,
it was.
The Revenge.
Yeah, the awful Jaws 4.
That's
There you
right.
go. Here's a trivia question for you, RA. What was Alfred Molina's first role?
Raiders of the Lost Ark, right? You throw
There
me
you
the
go.
idol, I throw you the whip.
That was his very first ever.
That was his very first.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hell of a,
Look
hell
at
of a movie to
RA
kick off your career.
coming off with an Indiana Jones after
I
he
know.
couldn't get
Although
a
I didn't
Christmas story.
What's his
Fucking football.
I didn't say his character name too. I know it too off the. What's his name? I mean, obviously you throw me the idol, I throw you the weep. But what's his name, Bob? Do you
Gets
remember off the
impaled.
top of your head? Huh?
No, I
He
don't.
doesn't
No?
have a name.
All right. Either way, but his best role, I think, was as Ray Hat Jackson in Boogie Nights. It's Cosmo. He's Chinese.
Clem recently told me, we recapped this movie on our podcast, My Mom's Basement, and Clem told me I got to see Boogie Nights because I've never seen it. And he's like, yeah, he's a crazy coked out guy like in that
Dude.
movie.
Boogie Nights,
Oh,
awesome movie, but from top to bottom, one of the most star-packed movies.
You-
Like
Yeah,
before
I
people
gotta
were
add
even
it to the
became, like,
list.
huge.
you've never
No.
seen it, Bob? Oh,
No.
You gotta watch. Well, are you old
Wow.
enough? How old are you?
Oh,
Oh, come on.
wow.
Hey, it's a
Fucking
legitimate
disrespect.
question.
23,
making
Smitty.
sure that-
I'm 23.
Ricky
making sure the
Springfield. He's
kids-
a buddy of mine.
Sure, the kids are protected from Dirk Diggler. And what he's got
Satipo.
packing.
Satipo, that was his name in fucking
There you
Raiders.
go.
Okay.
Speaking of Boogie Nights, the NYPD had a situation.
Oh,
the
hold on.
rookie.
I
What?
gotta get my take on Spider-Man.
Oh,
Motherfucker.
sure. Go
I'm
ahead.
I'm the boomer of the crew here, and I get a boomer take. Like, I haven't seen a Spider-Man since the second Sam Raimi. Like, I think I get it. I know the rights, and they have to keep making movies to keep the rights and all this convoluted bullshit. But it's just like fucking overkill at this point. If you're not a diehard MCU guy, it's just overkill. This is the third iteration of Spider-Man in 2 decades. I haven't seen the first 2 of this series. I probably will at some point. But I hate how, like, basically, like, I guess at some theaters, they're canceling showings of other movies and then replacing them with, like, the Spider-Man movie. And I get they're trying to make money, but it's fans
Theaters
of
got to stay
adult-
open.
Yeah, I
they
mean,
do. But it's like I feel it's just too many theaters. They're just showing way too many of these movies. And, you know, like, I'm an older guy. I like adult dramas, mid-budget dramas made for, like, adults that like to go to the movies that aren't, you know, super hero comic book movies, all the explosion shit. I get it. I understand the appeal. I just think it's like way too much of it in too many of the theaters now. There needs to be a better balance, or otherwise, I don't know. Theaters, it's not good for the long-term future of theaters.
Yeah,
I don't think to just have 90% of this stuff.
all right, you got
Okay,
a point. Nothing's holy anymore in any of this. I mean, no matter if Spider-Man, Long Way Home,
No way home.
No Way Home, even if it was like quick dog shit, they're still going to be putting asses in the seats. It's like any Star Wars movie that comes out. Robbie, you mean to tell me the next Star Wars movie that comes out, if it's Chewbacca, just a Wookiee there, rubbing himself off for 2 hours, you mean to tell me you're not just going to watch it? Of course you are.
No, I'll watch it, but it doesn't mean I'll like it.
Oh, exactly. But you're still going to pay tickets to go see it.
Yeah,
I mean, it's what
yeah.
puts asses in the seats. And right now,
I have a
I mean, Vinny
fucking- I'm
Chase and
their
Aquaman, they
audience,
can't
so come
compete
on.
with Spider-Man anymore.
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
it's-
especially when you're bringing in all of the Spider-Man villains from Spider-Man's past, the villains from the Amazing Spider-Man movies, the villains from this. This is kind of you said it's overkill with all the Spider-Man. This is the movie that kind of brings them all together, and it goes, all right, everything is overkill, so let's like make a clearer scene out of this.
Okay. Yeah. I'll catch up on him eventually, but yeah, I'm just like kind of, yeah.
Tom
shoulder
Holland
shrug.
is the best Spider-Man too, so like
Yeah,
this trilogy is tremendous.
I do like him. That he's a big reason why I want to check it out. Plus,
Yeah.
Zendaya is a pretty good actress.
He's better than
great.
Toby.
Yeah, he is. This
Hmm.
one solidifies it for me, and I'm such a Toby guy. The first Toby movie is the first movie I remember seeing in a movie theater. So like, I love Toby Maguire, but at this point, Tom Holland's performance in this is outrageously good.
All right. Segue from Tom Holland's Spider-Man to what should have been Boogie Nights. Rookie of the Year, NYPD gives her lieutenant a lap dance
Oof.
that you never forget. I got the video up there. Apparently, the lieutenant either got moved or demoted or something. But all right, you seen this type of action up in Charleston?
He's just gonna beat that drum till it's dead. No, you know what? I have quite a few friends up here, and I mean, you know, they like to get at it and have a good time. And that officer had some impressive moves, but I don't think my friends would be dumb enough to allow it to be recorded and uploaded to the internet. I mean, in this day and age, with fucking Me Too and sexual harassment, and this guy is apparently a superior to have that. I'm sure everybody had fun and nobody there was offended, but to have this videotaped and then fucking uploaded, bad idea. I mean, like, even if everybody in that room was cool
in the background of the video, yeah.
Everybody that looked cool with it, looked like fun, but it's 2021, man. Like, you just can't. These are your coworkers, employees. It's a different environment. You don't have to like it, but you got to abide by it. I just thought they just shot them, no pun intended, but they shot themselves in the foot. Now some of them are going to get in trouble over something that they could have kept private if they didn't fucking have to put their phones out. Put your goddamn phones away for once.
All right.
The people that were like involved in the lap dance, they were probably plastered, but like, how are you not thinking there's so many bodies around us? Like, this is going to get out. One of those people is probably going to whip out their phone because of the day and age we live in. And it's just like, yeah, like RA said, it seemed like everyone at that party seemed to be having a good time. I don't think anything was happening that wasn't consensual or wrong in that way. But like with the superior, with the lieutenant and all that, he can't be doing that. She was going to town too.
Yeah,
it was like a for real, like that was a lap dance.
Wonder if she got a little moonlight gig, huh? It's something back in the West Side at one of those joints, but yeah, just I don't. It could have easily been avoided, but you make your bed, you fucking lie in it. That's the way of the world.
'Tis the season to be merry. Also, the holiday season is here, and it comes with yearly questions of what do I wear to non-ugly sweater parties, and how do I maximize my time savoring holiday moments and minimize my time shopping for gifts? Fear not, wary holiday wander. Wow. Mack Weldon has all the answers. We're talking top-notch tops, best-selling bottoms and underwear and accessories that will please even the Scroogiest guys on your list. Robbie, who's the Scroogiest person that works at Barstool?
The Scroogiest person.
I got mine right off the top of my head.
Works at Barstool.
Oh, yeah.
All Biz Pete.
Oh, yeah, it's a good one. That's he for sure.
I love All Biz Pete, but I feel like even he would admit he's a bit Scrooge-ish.
Yeah. All right, do you have one?
Not being in the office all that often, working from Boston, I don't really have a Scroogiest. People I work with are pretty good to me. I mean, I don't know. I guess,
Pete's a good one. Pete's a good one for the Mack Weldon. He's a very, very Scroogey. I was going to say
no disrespect to Pete.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But major disrespect to Big T. Big T's a miserable prick. I love him. But God forbid you say happy holidays to him. He's going to have a fucking conniption. But he's a Scroogey guy, and he can handle Mack Weldon. And with Mack Weldon, your holiday heavy lifting will be complete within minutes. I'm not going to lie, I'm not a fan of the cold. Feeling like a walking popsicle just doesn't suit me. But with Mack Weldon's warm knit collection that features shirts, vests, pajama pants, and more, my chilly winter days are behind me. Using innovative technology that uses your own body heat to keep you at the perfect temperature, these products from Mack Weldon had me saying something I never thought I would. I'm ready for the cold. A gift set, what a concept. One gift that holds many gifts inside, and no one is doing better gift sets this holiday season than Mack Weldon. With limited edition color drops and a bevy of new releases, their holiday gift sets are the perfect present for any guy on your list. Bevy's a word, right?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, let's do this. This holiday season, every guy deserves to wear unforgettable clothes that he loves for the moments with loved ones that he'll never forget. That's why Mack Weldon is always on my holiday list for giving and getting. For 20% off your first order, visit mackweldon.com/rundown and enter promo code rundown. That's mackweldon.com/rundown. Promo code Barstool for 20% off. Mack Weldon, get it right this holiday season. Please, Big T. All business, Pete, you Scroogey motherfuckers.
Whoa. Yeah. There's a lot of animosity in your voice to end that ad. You crushed it, though. It was a good ad read by you.
They are.
They're also, whoever's editing, I assume it's Vasuli, whoever's editing this rundown, can we have like Big Cat and Dave in the thumbnail? Just put them in there. And then it's like, oh, yeah, how funny is that?
Oh, just grifting
views. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. People are gonna.
I don't know if I can
comments.
I don't know if I can mentally handle that sort of hate from the big.
Me and my friend Dave, put him right there.
Yeah. Oh, Robbie, you get more clickbait there. Bring out CBS for you.
So what do you got? One or two or 3 minutes left, Bob?
Yeah, but 10 minutes. 10 minutes.
Oh, okay. All right. So I think we could throw Nick, you think we get that
What,
Kardashian talk again?
what one-liner do you have lined up for Khloe Kardashian? Just say the one-liner before we start, and then we'll talk about whether we want to go into the topic.
It's not so much a one-liner, but like, well, to back up what you were saying, her face, I mean, she looks different again. Like every year she comes out with like a new look. And I know the notes compared her to Tom Brady. I mean, Tom Brady's face has changed, but he's looked the same. Khloe looks like a different person, like from last year. And I'm just going to say the butterfly effect of this whole thing is banana lands. I mean, 20 years ago, whatever, her sister goes down on Brandy's brother's Brujol. And now we're here like breaking down Khloe J's latest face. And I don't know, it's just funny, man. Her, like, because of a sex tape 20 years ago. And now here we are talking about her sister's, plastic surgery.
Or you want to take it even one step further. If her father wasn't OJ's lawyer, does that sex tape even matter?
Yeah. It probably does.
I don't know.
I mean, maybe not to this level, but yeah, the OJ Kardashian factor was huge because that was still very much in the air back then.
Juice still squeezes some way, somehow. Sure. Why not?
I think the best artists reinvent themselves. I mean, on Khloe. Wish I could give myself a new face.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
It'd be great.
Whatever floats your boat, man. Hey, it doesn't bother me. I don't.
RA, yet an ad, or excuse me, a blog. NHL players will not be going to the Olympics because of the risks this world is facing right now with the pandemic. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, first off, shout out to the Spit and Chicklets crew for breaking this huge story yesterday. I think the writing might have been on the wall, but nobody had come out and said it. And we got a pretty exclusive anonymous tip yesterday that said this is toast. It's not going to happen. And we got the story out right away, 4:40 in the afternoon. And then later in the day, other outlets started picking it up and not crediting Barstool or Spit and Chicklets. We're used to that, though. But yeah, journalist nerds like myself keep score. But yeah, bottom line is these guys were dying to play for their country. It's a huge honor, but they risk going to China. And if they get the virus over there, or I should say, even if they test positive over there, they could be quarantined for like up to a few weeks if they don't get negative tests. So there's a potential you get stuck in China for several weeks. Then you come back to North America. You have to quarantine again, whether you're in the States or Canada. And also you lose pay. Like if you get COVID as a result of this, because of the way the CBA was designed or the contract was designed, you could potentially lose your pay. So it's huge risk getting quarantined twice, getting sick. Well, getting COVID, I wouldn't necessarily say sick, getting a positive COVID test, 2 quarantines, and losing pay. You got to weigh that versus, playing for your country. And I think that between the union and the league, they realize this juice is not worth the squeeze. So they're not going to do it. Now, individual players can still go on their own volition. I believe that they want to fly themselves over and go through the process. So obviously that's a tougher deal, a bigger deal than just, when you're doing it with a collective group. I don't think we're going to see too many guys do that. And also the league, the league is beholden to the league, not to the IOC. So they have already postponed a bunch of games. So this window where the Olympics would have been will give them an opportunity to have all these games played. And plus, they might have a few more, all-stars to show up in Vegas for that weekend, which obviously is a smaller deal. But yeah, it's a huge story. A lot of people are bummed out we're not going to get Olympic hockey, but it is what it is, man. I mean, this is the new normal. This is the world we live in. It's 2 years of COVID now, and the risks. If I'm a player, I wouldn't risk it either. I mean, your job is your job. That's your priority, and as much as you want to strap on the colors for your country, it's the like I said, the risk is just too big.
Can't we just, instead of having the entire Olympics, just have a USA team, Canada team, and Russian team?
Yeah, and Sweden. Oh, you got to bring the Swedes. Yeah,
I mean, we just do a nice little round robin.
Throw in Sweden.
Yeah. Oh, Sweden, Finns, absolutely. You got to have them guys in there too. They're awesome hockey players. But yeah, well, they do the World Cup every couple of years, Smitty, and this was the next big event, obviously. And I mean, this was planned a couple of years ago, getting the NHLers back in the Olympics. Before the COVID fucking ruined everybody's day.
Is there going to be no hockey in the Olympics, or are we going to send like college players? What's going on with that?
They're probably going to. I'm sure the GMs are scouring like hockey database and fucking elite prospects right now to find guys because the U.S. contingent hasn't pulled up. They haven't pulled the hockey team out. Just NHL players aren't going to participate. So the GM of the team, Bill Guerin, he's going to have to go out and find players. And, usually you got college kids who will take the risk, or guys already playing overseas, and they won't have any problem getting those kind of guys because, they don't have $1 million contracts they have to worry about. They may be already overseas. So the idea of being quarantined in China, not a big deal to them.
Put together a new miracle team.
Yeah. Find the next Ruzioni.
See what happens.
Why not? Again, that was a great movie, by the way.
Miracle?
Yeah, I put it in top.
I love Miracle.
I put top 7 sports movies for me.
Yeah, it's up there. And I'll tell you, if it wasn't sort of a Disneyfied movie, and I don't think they even Disneyfied it that much. It was very much to the truth.
Yeah.
Kurt Russell, very deserving of an Academy Award nomination that year. I mean, Disney movies typically don't get them, but it was one of the best roles he's ever done. I mean, he's a legend, but that was some pretty tremendous work he did there.
Would you say that's the best Disney coach of all time? You got him. You got Remember the Titans.
Well, I mean,
Denzel. You got Mighty Ducks. Emilio.
Yeah, well, you're kind of you're mixing fiction and real ones, and
you got Mufasa. He could be considered as a coach, coaching his child.
I'll go with Herb Brooks / Kurt Russell.
I go with fucking Mufasa.
That speech is so good.
Has Dana Beers fallen off? This Australian guy puts an absolute show for the people and slugs down 4 cold ones. I don't know if you guys saw this. It's just Aussie just deleting Beers, bro, putting Dana Beers on notice.
Yeah, I caught that. I think pretty impressive. I mean, I don't know that he slugged them as fast as we've maybe seen in other spots, but the whole show about it, the crowd going wild, everyone seemed to be going crazy. I don't know if it was a soccer game, a rugby game, but anytime the Australians do something, there's always a little extra pizzazz to it.
Robbie. Yeah, Robbie's doing the Frozen bit.
Yeah, I think he mentioned he was getting frozen a second.
Yeah, but I'm not buying it. I think it's him. Like, put one on for the people. Oh yeah, big time. And which I don't blame him. I mean, we start talking about Dana Beers in the notes.
Right. I know what you're fucking doing. Fine, let's just do the whole rundown like this. A showdown.
It's a fucking showdown.
When do you want to talk? First subject.
We're talking right
the
now.
Vegas is back. That guy's smoking a butt with his fucking mask out the side. Just as much Americana as you can possibly fucking get. I know you can hear me, so stop doing it.
We're talking.
All right, Dan.
We're just trying to have the rundown.
Play the stupid ass game.
We're talking. Can you not hear us? We're talking.
Sorry, my computer just did a hard restart there.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought you were putting us on one there.
No, I
had the perfect still shot, like a shit-eating grin, just ready to be just put on a tombstone for the end of time. That doesn't bother you, but not being invited on the rundown for 13 years of your existence here at Barstool, all right, 14 years. I could have sworn when you were doing pressers at the Stanley Cup, you got on this program. Am I wrong or am I right?
Well, I mean, that's being featured in a video from another source. That's not making an appearance on a rundown as like
you never even got called in like in the office, like, oh, come over here. We're talking about hockey right now.
Nah, no, I've never been on the rundown. This is my first time being on a rundown. Yeah,
it's criminal.
So who do you have to who would you like to call out or express words to? Or
Dave.
No.
It's Dave. Call out Dave.
No, I'm not calling on anybody. I mean, I'd make myself available when I'm down there. People know I'm there. If they want to grab me, fine. If not, like, I don't want to be desperate and like, oh, have me on. Like, like fucking today. Hey, you want to come on? Sure. So it just happened to take till now to get on. But yeah, no hard feelings. I'm happy to be here. And
You heard him, Dave.
Looking forward to do it again.
Incredible.
In the office.
The fact that Scrooge Low T has been on this program before, RA. I don't know how I like that.
I mean,
and I love Low
think
T.
everyone
Excuse me, Big T.
Just
I love him.
everyone the assist has been on at this point, so you can throw any name in there who's been on before. But like, I'm not in the office either. It's not like I'm in the office every day. I'm getting passed over.
Good news is you never forget your first. You'll remember me and Smitty.
Ooh.
It's true.
Yeah,
Robbie. Robbie said the famous rundown line that you coined.
No come out of this
right.
dick.
Oh,
No.
man.
Well, I mean, is the office even going to be open anytime soon? Robbie, did you
Probably
have
not.
you test positive? Did I read that right? Okay.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
you're a man down. How's it up in Beantown? All right. Let's get a little worried.
I just traveled, like I said, internationally. I had to get tested before I left America. Then I had a test before I left Canada. I actually got tested twice up there. I was negative all 3 tests. I feel fine. I think I had a touch of it back the first run last year. I tested negative then. I did have a little funky, like, off taste in my mouth, but I got the vax too. I just, I'm just go out, wear my mask, wear a mask too. But I don't know. I think society needs to go back to function again. I think everybody knows this is something we live with now. I mean, if you don't want to go out and participate in public, fine. But I think the rest of the world should chug along, man. Everybody knows the drill. And, all the stuff with the NHL postponing games, and these guys aren't even like, they get the sniffles right now, and they're getting tested because they're getting tested, not because they're saying, oh, I'm sick, I got to get tested. But I don't know. I don't know what the new normal is going to be, but people need to adjust to it, and society's got to roll on and move on. We can't fucking stay in for the next 5 years, because what's the next variant? Gamma variant, then fucking tau, and fucking whatever fucking Greek letters I remember from 7 years of college. I don't know, man. It's
I
the
thought you
new
were saying
world we
gamma
live in.
rays, like we were all going to turn into the Hulk.
Yeah. Hey, don't get me angry, Bob. You won't like me when I'm angry.
Jesus.
Shout out to the OG Lou Ferrigno.
Yeah,
He's still
absolutely.
alive, right?
Oh yeah, he's
Yeah.
kicking.
Oh, yeah.
That was the first. That was my first exposure to the Hulk. I was just talking to someone at Barstool about that recently, and they brought Daredevil into that show, and it was the old school like black bandana over the face. I love.
Well, you've seen Pumping Iron,
Oh,
though, right, Rob? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just making sure we're on the same page here. Kind of feel
Yeah, it's a classic. I think that's Dana White's favorite documentary of all time.
it's actually like a shockingly good documentary. Like,
Yeah?
it's
Oh, yeah.
probably the only documentary from like the 70s I could A, name, and B, like watch with entertainment again. Like Arnold.
Yeah.
Arnold fucked
Mr. Freeze.
big time.
Yeah, he was in what movie? I think
Terminator,
it was
Terminator 2.
Jingle All the Way.
No, he was in a cameo, either California Split or the Long Goodbye, like an Elliot Gould movie from the 70s, like a Robert Altman movie. He's like plays like a bodybuilder in it. But yes, he did a cameo in like an early 70s flick too.
Terminator 3.
No.
I-
No, now you're gonna make me look it up. Yeah, it was a fucking Robert Altman movie, believe it or not. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Go listen to Bill Burr's
I was just about
Yeah,
to say
Bill-
that.
Bill Burr's-
Bill Burr's bit on
Baron
Schwarzenegger. is the
Schwarzenegger
best.
just coming over from Austria, not even speaking the language, just becoming famous for being a bodybuilder.
Married royalty.
Just being a bodybuilder and just being famous, unheard of, and then being a movie star, even though nobody knows what you're talking about, and then marrying a Kennedy. It's like, you can't marry a Kennedy, and he marries fucking a Kennedy and becomes governor. I mean, pretty much the most ambitious life anybody could possibly choose, until he had a situation with his maid on the bed. Took him down.
Yeah, that was tough.
Took down the
Yeah, that was
That was
Terminator.
tough.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah, she took him down. Yeah, he was in The Long Goodbye. That was Elliot Gould movie. Elliot Gould was the star, old Robert Altman flick. He plays like a wise guy or a hood or
Good.
a tough guy.
I'm-
But I don't know if he has.
I'm very happy you can name a random Elliot Gould movie from the 70s, but when I call you on the dozen to answer a fucking Christmas Story question, that should be a layup for you. You got nothing, all right. Nothing.
Yeah, I dropped the
Literally.
football on that question.
Literally, you dropped the football.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
What are you
All right,
gonna-
appreciate it, boys and girls. That's the run.
Absolutely. Have a great Christmas, everybody.